I grip it tight, though it cuts like a blade, feeding the fire that I should have let fade. The mirror cracks with the weight of it all, a ghost in my chest, answering the call. Every heartbeat pulls me under the wave, clinging to the storm that I crave. I tell myself to release, but the chains hold fast in this endless void. How long can it last? What I keep alive is tearing me apart, a beast in the dark, crushing my heart. I bleed into the nothing, it swallows me whole, unforgiving and raw, devouring my soul. No escape from the prison I've made my own, lost in the ruins, forever alone. Time drags like chains across broken ground, chasing echoes that never make a sound. It whispers lies that I swallow like truth, isolation's grip stealing my youth. I reach for the light, but it slips through my hands, buried in the wreckage of shattered plans. This very scar reminds me of the price I pay, holding on to the poison day after day. I see the edge, but I turn back again in this hopeless fight. Where does it end? What I keep alive is tearing me apart, a beast in the dark, crushing my heart. I bleed into the nothing, it swallows me whole, unforgiving and raw, devouring my soul. No escape from the prison I made my own, lost in the ruins, forever alone. Why do I nurture this thorn in my side? It could be regret, a love that's died, or the rage that burns, or the fear I hide. Whatever it is, it's my twisted pride. One more breath, one more lie, I believe. Sinking deeper, no reprieve. The pull is too strong, still won't die. What I keep alive, fading to black, a cycle unbroken, no turning back. What I keep alive, it's me in the what I keep alive.
Y'all already know what it is, man. We back here to start some more game on the ground for them hungry hounds who just got the pound and are ready for the next round. So, with that being said, yes, I am back. I have unfortunately been sick the past basically fucking week. Yeah, but that version pales in comparison to the one that we just listened to. So, anyways, with that being said, I've been sick for almost the past damn near week. Tomorrow will make it a week. I'm not that sick anymore. Clearly, I'm back on here. I just got to get my voice back. But y'all can see the title of this episode, this live, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be looking at Candace Owens with her sit down with ERIKA KIRK. Obviously, it was done in private. Unfortunately, it wasn't streamed for the world to see. I don't know what's in this video. I read some of the comments before doing this, and I don't know what to expect from this. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it, man. Get this pulled up real quick. Oof, I got the hiccups. Change this bullshit layout real quick. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it.
Hey, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Well, ERIKA said, stop. And then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like, as I just put all of these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governable. I am basically akin to Kanye West. I never felt more seen than when he tweeted a lot of years ago, just fired my manager because I realized I can't be managed. That is me. That tweet right there, I was like, oh gosh, yes, Kanye, that I get this. Okay. Nobody is changing their mind anything. How ridiculous would it have been if I'm doing all of this, investigating, asking all of these questions, and then ERIKA KIRK offers to answer some of these questions, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to go. I can't betray the people. I don't want any answers to the questions. I just want to ask them. No, this is the entire reason we are doing this. We've been looking at the situation going, why can't Turning Point USA just answer basic questions? And I can tell you guys that yesterday, for 4 hours and 30 minutes, there were no rules. They said you can ask us any question that you want, anything that's on your mind, which I appreciated. And some of you guys are thinking, who is they? Who is they? It's the Jews, obviously. Just kidding. It's Justin Strife. Justin Strife was in the room. It was just Justin Strife and ERIKA. George joined me just for the beginning portion of the conversation because he had that thing going on that I told you on the 15th all day. He was in a conference. And then I brought my cousin Mia, the one that has a really bad attitude. I just bring her there for vibes. I think it just confuses people. They're like, I don't understand what's this person doing here. And the reality is she's like always just listening to Cardi B music. But she's my cousin and I always have her around. And so that was it. She was kind of sitting a little bit away, but at the table it was really just the four of us until George left. And I will be honest, I did not know what to expect going into the room. I did not know if they were going to be open. I didn't know what ERIKA's energy was going to be like, if it was going to be more of an argument, if there was going to be legal threats. You guys were telling me not to drink water, so I didn't drink water. Well, I brought my own water, but I didn't drink that water too. There's a lot going on, okay? And the conversation started with Justin Strife very sensibly saying, what are we looking to accomplish here? Like, what is the actual aim of this conversation? And he was pretty clear, and ERIKA was very clear, that they were sort of most upset with obviously a bit of a fever pitch, what I tweeted, that it was a godforsaken company and people should not give money to it. And I have to own that. That's aggressive. That is actually aggressive in the retrospect. I was very frustrated. And I don't know, I felt like we weren't getting any answers and there were so many lies. And then I was getting attacked for asking all meaningful questions that was within their capacity to answer. And I told you, I definitely, my problem in life is that I can rise to anger very quickly. I shared with them that I really felt like I was under attack for telling the truth from the very beginning, like casually, when I mentioned the Catholicism thing. Like, what was that about? I was like, look, I say something in a tribute to him. Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett then jump onto a podcast and they're doing that weird interview, which is clearly aimed at me. and they've teased the interview. It's like aimed at me, but they never say my name. And that to me felt like it was the first, I don't know, the first bit of mud that was slung, their answer for that was, hey, that was a really crazy time. A new system had to be put into place, and by no means did ERIKA give any person the authority to go out and say that the Catholicism thing was a lie. It kind of turned into this big thing. Whatever. Okay, that kind of obviously was not the meat of the reason that we wanted to sit down. I will say I was immediately refreshed by the fact that one of the first things that ERIKA did was she owned the lies, or rather, I guess they would cage it as miscommunications that were coming from various people at the company. Like, look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. Everybody at this time is exceedingly emotional, and they are communicating, and no matter what somebody says on Twitter, they assume that this communication has come down from management, and that's not always a circumstance. But they owned right away, which felt great, that if you guys recall, ERIKA sat down with Glenn Beck. I actually missed this portion because I didn't get to watch the interview in its entirety, and we were pulling clips because a lot was coming out very quickly. But there was a portion that was going around that was viral, and it was ERIKA saying that she had Charlie's phone and that Charlie never texted anybody the night before saying that he thought that they were going to kill him. And that obviously reflected poorly on me because I was the one who said that he did, in fact, text multiple people the night before. And then I went on Jimmy Dore on Friday, Jimmy Dore's show, and I clarified. I said, Andrew Colvett told me specifically that he was one of the people that received this text message. So I got that first person. I didn't get that from a source. I got that directly from Andrew Colvett. And then somebody who had access to Dan Flood's communications said that Dan Flood similarly received a text message. They owned that right away and explained. ERIKA said that she has Charlie's phone. She's looking at his iMessages, and it turns out that he, like everybody else, communicates on Signal. He communicates on Telegram.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Oh, dude, that comment just got me, bro. That shit just came out of nowhere. He said, Terry Joe new video title damn near made me blow my top. Oh, shit, bro. Oh, that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to read this shit. Let's say he gone. You got me curious now. We're going to have to check it out. We're going to have to go look at this shit after this. You got me curious.
And that when she heard me say that, they then went and looked, and yes, that what I said was true. Andrew Colvett received a message the night before, and Dan Flood received a message the night before. Now, they asked me if I had actually like a concrete a copy of what Dan Flood got the night before, and I said no. Somebody told me what it said, which was almost exactly what Andrew said, which is they're going to kill me. Andrew did not know who they that he was referring to were, but they clarified that the message that Dan Flood received said the left is going to kill me. So I can't confirm that one way or the other. I have to trust them on that because I did not see that concrete message. I was told that it said they. Now, obviously, we discussed the moment, and I'm laughing here because you TikTokers are actually out of control. You guys are going to be the reason that Israel gets TikTok because you guys are acting a fool all the time. And the videos were so hilarious of you guys mocking the Barry Weiss interview. It's great. It's good to laugh at ourselves. And Barry Weiss is always worth laughing at. But I was sort of like, hey, I felt name checked by the podcaster, Candace Owens, this obvious setup, and then asking me to stop. And it's interesting to hear ERIKA say that the reason she didn't ask me to stop in the beginning because she was actually learning things from the show. She was actually learning things, and that I think she similarly felt that Barry Weiss was trying to create a moment. Obviously, it's who Barry Weiss is. It's the Zionist lobby. She's trying to right perceived wrongs because I'm against her side. That does not surprise me. That's kind of why Barry Weiss exists. That's the reason they put her at CBS, is because she's just committed to stacking the audience with people that are going to present the pro-Israel cause and talk about anti-Semitism and talk about like crime being on the rise. It's kind of an embarrassment, but I actually do accept that. And I should also clarify that Barry Weiss obviously picked those questions. They were not random, like I told you. It wasn't like people were coming to the mic and it was an open mic and they didn't know if they were going to get. It was all very much planned by Barry. But ERIKA said that she knew the general idea, like they were going to mention me and mention the conspiracies, but she was not given that specific, the podcaster, Candace Owens, question. So I think that's fair to clear that up. Now, I did not at all recant any of my suspicions, and I understand people disagree with me about particular people at Turning Point USA. I communicated what I communicated in front of the whole world. My skin crawled after I spoke to Terrell Farnsworth, the person who took the cameras down. He lied to me several times. I explained to them, which felt good to have that direct communication, how Terrell lied multiple times, and that I did not understand why he was there that day. They echoed what he said. They defended what he said, that they were trying something new that day, that they typically live stream, which is what Terrell said. They typically live stream. And I said, every college event. Well, they said, well, yeah, they live stream the events that are tour stops, but they don't live stream like the outside prove me wrong type events. And that was something that was new and it required Terrell. And I said, even if that was all real, if that was all true, I still didn't feel good about the conversation that I had with Terrell. And I can't ignore my gut about the many little lies that he told. I thought the video he recorded was weird. I know he comes from a very powerful family. I
wonder what he lied about. I don't know. She said it in a previous episode, and I don't know, she's uploaded a few since the last time I was on here. But I wonder what he lied about. It's interesting. It also doesn't, right now, what Candace is saying, it doesn't really seem like ERIKA is against her. In my opinion. That's what it sounds like right now. Which, if that's the case, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. But who knows? We'll find out a little more.
I personally do not trust him. And I obviously do not like the fact that I said, Tyler Boyer lied about this thing and said, came up with an excuse and said, well, Terrell was asked to take the camera down. That's the reason, he said on Twitter, because the police wanted him to take it down and secure the footage. And I said, I know that's not true. And they said, well, after all of that, after he took the cameras down, there was a police officer or Fed, whoever it was, that spoke to him and asked him to secure the footage. Well, that makes sense, but it's not a reason for why he took it down immediately. It makes sense that as you're investigating, you're going to say, who's got the footage? Let's lock it down. But it didn't make sense to me that Tyler Boyer lied about it. And I don't trust Tyler Boyer. And that is never going to change. Similarly with Rob McCoy. He makes my skin crawl. I can't explain it. I look at him and he's a bad person and nobody can make me feel one way or the other about that. I was surprised to learn, and this kind of gets into, I guess, us not knowing the inner workings at Turning Point USA, that Rob McCoy actually does not work with Turning Point USA in any capacity whatsoever. And so him communicating as he has done, like, I'm the pastor, I'm this, I'm that, it's just not real. Like, that is not real. And we should know that that's not real. And when he says that, call him out on that separately from Turning Point USA. I was operating under the assumption that he worked for Turning Point USA. And I said, if obviously that's wrong, I'm happy to correct that. But also, what were we to assume when he hit the stage at the memorial and said, I'm America's pastor, and then had the Wikipedia updated and said, well, I'm assuming he had it updated because who else would do that he started Turning Point USA Faith. So I guess, to be clear, we were just wrong about that. And I will have a lot more to say about Rob McCoy and where I believe he fits into a lot of things. So I'm not letting up on that. Now, one piece of this where I still don't understand it, and the magic bullet. Okay. Now, we all recall what happened. I casually say on the show, hey, I saw the footage. There was no blood. And honestly, when I said it, I didn't process how big of a deal that was with the 30-06. Very quickly, what happens is Andrew Colvett whips up this tweet about what happened with the bullet. And he said he wanted to address all of the discussion that was being had about the online chatter. I'm obviously paraphrasing here. He says, I apologize. It's going to get graphic, but he spoke with the surgeon. The bullet should have gone through. The surgeon then explained that what he's typically seen on these wounds, and basically this was all a miracle. Charlie saved lives, even in death. And the internet clocked it, this miracle, the healthy bone. His bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive. Like, this is a quote, by the way. His bone was so healthy. I want to read it. This is allegedly from a surgeon. Quote, his bone was so healthy and the density was so impressive that he's like the man of steel. It should have gone through and through. It likely would have killed those standing behind him too. And we were just like, that kind of was like the beginning of the WTF, right? I feel like that was kind of the beginning of it.
But I will say, a 30-06 will blow anybody's head off. Just saying. Just saying.
And immediately...
But there is a very high possibility that God could have made it to where it didn't blow through Charlie's head. That's also very possible too.
People in the comments responded to Andrew, and he said, this individual said, this post is so fake as it would violate HIPAA. Like, there's patient privacy. You can't just call up the surgeon. And then Andrew Colvett replies and says, rest assured, I would not have posted without full permission. Now, he said he spoke to the surgeon, and they confirmed that Andrew spoke to the surgeon, but that they did not know that he was going to write that tweet. They did not know that he called up the surgeon. So, like, it very much came across to be like Andrew was just flying by the seat of his pants. I don't know. Like, he was just flying dark on it. And I was like, that seems very strange to me, because why would a surgeon do that? Like, the first thing the surgeon should say is, I can't speak to you. I don't even know, in theory, Andrew wasn't even there when Charlie died. I don't even know why the surgeon even knows this guy, actually. Maybe he hung around after, but, you know, Andrew was not one of the people that got into the hospital or anything like that. So this is quite literally the PR guy who's calling the surgeon. And so that just seems very inappropriate for a person to do, period. And I would say it was kind of the beginning, but that was what I got from that. Now, obviously, we discussed the security. I brought up Brian Harpole, this interview with Sean Ryan, and I think we can believe Turning Point when they say that they did not approve of this. They had no idea he was going on Sean Ryan. I think that's pretty clear. I don't believe he works there anymore. So that was kind of him, just getting out there and perhaps trying to rescue his own reputation. And I think that only made his reputation worse, actually, because people rightfully sensed that he wasn't telling the truth in that interview, that he was being cagey, that he was saying things that didn't make any sense. Again, you constantly have these people that believe, like Brian Harpole, that with enough performance, he can sit down and you're just going to convince people that this is real. And this is just a different time. Like I said, these TikTokers are out of control. They will check you in 4 seconds. Okay. Things that the biggest piece of this that I want to communicate, and that I did communicate to them, and I hope that they took me seriously on this, or rather that they take my strong advice on this. I said one of the reasons why I really want to sit down is because I want to walk out of here and feel confident saying to my audience, hey, like, there's stuff going on behind the scenes, but Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. Like, that more will come out, but you can take it from me that this is what happened. I was looking to achieve that because there's been a lot of signaling from various people, some people who are experts, some people who have been involved in cases, that there's obviously going to be stuff that the public does not have access to. And so it is at least plausible that they have seen very clear footage that we've been asking for of Tyler Robinson getting up there and taking the shot. Like, they have access to UVU camera. So I was hoping to hear that. And I said that I want to hear why people feel so confident at Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And at this point, they elected to call the lawyer, like, you know, their lawyer who is involved in this case, one of the lawyers that's involved in this case. So
when she says those TikTokers, I picture them looking like them videos I be sending you with the AI. Man, for real, that's facts.
always a team of lawyers, especially for something like this. And what I got from the lawyer did not make me feel that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. It did not make me feel confident that he didn't or did shoot Charlie Kirk. I was very surprised by this. He spoke a very long time. I asked, you know, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. If we want to protect the integrity of the case, I'm not gonna. If you say we've got the footage of him taking a shot, I promise I won't say that to the audience, but I will communicate to them that you have something that is solid. And no, to the exact contrary, this guy effectively said, not effectively, he said that they have nothing but the affidavit. Okay, so what you have, what we have seen is what they have. What is being discussed publicly, you are this whole non-expert problem with well, you don't know. It's like what you read, his messages that don't have any dates on it, Tyler Robinson writing out everything and the clean alibi, that's what they have. And what he explained to me was that that's the affidavit stage. That's where it's at. And then what takes place now is the investigation is ongoing, right? So right now they're looking for more information. And once investigators, they could very well have obviously footage, and that is why they might feel that, oh, we're definitely gonna get this prosecution. But the reality is they don't actually share that information with the victim. They don't share that information with ERIKA. They don't, in this part of the process, they will not know what investigators have discovered. This is what the lawyer told me until May. Okay, they have not seen anything that you have not seen, is what I want you to know. So.
And that's crazy. But what's even crazier is the fact that you're dealing with a open investigation right now. When I say open, I mean an investigation that's ongoing. And they could just be lying to keep under wraps what they have right now. If it's more than just the affidavit, like she says. That's a possibility too. So, I don't know, there's all these different variables, and when you think about all of them, it makes your fucking brain hurt.
With that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling, why do I feel like the public's being gaslit on this? There's been nothing that's convincing. There are so many commentators who have gone out and said to you, it's overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. The text messages that don't have a date, that don't even sound real, that's overwhelming. That to me feels really fake and gay. I really do want to say that to every commentator that is out there trying to tell the public and insisting that if you say it enough times it'll become real, you're actually just being dishonest. And I offered that a more honest way to communicate would be to say, we think he's involved. We feel strongly, I've said that, I think he's involved. We are very hopeful that throughout this investigation, we are going to get that concrete thing. And that's where we're at right now. That's just the stage that we are at. That is not what we are getting from them. That is I just feel like that's really important to let you guys know, let the gaslighting stop. They have what you have, okay? There is nothing else. They are in an investigative stage. ERIKA has been named as the victim. They will know more in this May hearing, which is the probable cause hearing. That's what the lawyer told me, it's probable cause hearing. And that's when they will see the evidence. That's when they get to present the evidence, why they are going to stand there before a judge and be like, yes, we need to move this forward. It's not just an affidavit. We're not pulling together scraps. We have concrete evidence. Until then, okay, until we all get on the same page and understand what else they have, I am very confident stating the opposite of all of my, I guess, well-paid peers, in that I don't believe that Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger. And what I also said to them was, and I said this in front of the lawyer, because I don't know why I'm like this. I was like, you might need a new lawyer. I was like, because this person's trying to sell to you that this is solid. One of the rules that me and my husband have is that if you have a lawyer that tells you you're 100% going to win, it's very clear that you're going to win, you need a new lawyer. Okay, that's a cheerleader. That's not a lawyer. A lawyer, even if you should 100% win, should be telling you the risks here. You know, I feel good about this case. Let me talk real to you. I feel good about this case, but Here's where things could go wrong. I want you to understand those risks that are involved. We don't have this yet. We don't have that yet. And especially given what I told them, which is your lawyers, or the investigators rather, not their lawyers, because they're not the ones investigating. It's the state of Utah that's investigating. They have not called the one solitary person, as I told you guys, who filmed as he was on the roof. Remember the guy that's like, oh, there's somebody on the roof, and he sees him crouched down. I said, I spoke to that person, and his testimony would be devastating to your prosecution. He did not. He saw the person on the roof. He filmed the person on the roof at 12:23.
So FedEx did do him dirty. Yeah, he did do him dirty as hell earlier. He really did. But that kid was way out of line for thinking in that thought process and the situation that he was in. He had no reason to be trying to justify his bullshit situation. And he also needs better people around him too. That's 100% facts.
p.m. and he did not see that person take the shot. And this is not some random student. This is a guy who trains people to shoot guns at a range. He knows guns, okay? He said what he saw was a smaller gun. He said that this person was dressed in black tactical gear and there was no recoil. That's devastating. That would be devastating to the prosecution.
He said, I love you, he said, you love her my ass. You ain't loving shit.
And yet investigators haven't reached out. Now they offered back, well, maybe they haven't reached out because they have an even clearer video where and that's true. That's actually a good rebuttal. They're like, we don't even have to talk to this guy because the video will speak for itself. And we saw what we saw. Okay, but wouldn't you still want to speak to the other guy so you could prepare, I don't know, to question him something? I don't like that this investigation is going on, and I feel as though I spoke to more people than they have. Both of the people who filmed videos that day told me that they weren't reached out to. So I don't understand what's happening here.
And that right there kind of makes it seem like right now it kind of feels like a half-assed investigation. And it feels like that because it feels like the whole thing was set up. It does. I'm not going to lie to you. It does. And so if it's a setup and some part of the government's in on it, whether it's the CIA or maybe a very high, it could even be fucking like George Soros or someone that's in on it. Could be paying for a half-assed investigation to try to pin it on Tyler Robinson. Who knows?
I don't understand the confidence, I guess, is the best way to say this. I told him I do not understand the confidence that is happening. Now, another really big thing that happened was they brought me Mikey's call logs, okay? They brought me Mikey's call logs, and that is why I said this was a productive meeting. There is no other way to say it. I asked every question, and they came with paperwork to show and to answer and to explain certain things. Also, which was, I thought, actually kind of sweet, that I guess I did on the previous show. I was like kind of looking at things into Mikey, and I couldn't find him. And someone said, I think Mikey's not his real name. They thought it was his middle name, actually. And I just assumed, okay, well, maybe he's using his middle name, and that's why I can't find him. But Mikey really wants you guys to know that is his real name, and it is his real name. I found out shortly thereafter that they were confusing his middle name with, they thought it was switched. That Michael is his real name, just to clarify that, because I realized I actually didn't go back and clarify that. But Mikey's call logs, big piece of this, okay? I'm going to, I guess, jog your memory on what Blake said about Mikey that day, and then I'll tell you what actually happened, because I don't think Blake has that great of a memory. Okay, take a listen.
So I was not with Mikey, or I don't remember being with him. I think I was ahead of him as we left. And then we get out, and I run for, can't have been more than 15 or 20 seconds. And then I realized there hasn't been another shot, so the shooter has likely been detained or stopped or something, not in immediate danger. I pause, I look around me, and I see Mikey. And I see Mikey there. And I'll never truthfully, I will never forget what I saw, because I've seen Mikey almost every day for the past 2 years. I know his personality very well. He's a very bubbly guy. He's a very happy guy almost all of the time. And I'll never forget what I saw, because it was clear in the moment that he was profoundly freaked out. What I'll always remember is the way his lip was quivering, which I'd never seen before. And you very rarely see from someone that he was freaking out. And then I think he literally said to me, I might be imagining this, but I think what he literally said was, then he was looking around, and then he says, I need to call ERIKA. And then he takes his phone and he begins calling ERIKA. And I don't want to disclose how that call unfolded, but he did that. This, your mind extends all of this, but that is happening within a minute of all of this occurring. I remember he calls ERIKA. Around the same time, I pull out my phone and I call my mom just to say, Mom, there's been a shooting. You're going to see it on the news. I'm okay. Pray for me. I've got to go. And I remember that call. And around the time I put that phone away, and then he immediately calls his dad. He calls Rob McCoy, and he says, Dad, someone shot Charlie. You need to call all of your pastor friends. Charlie was hit. We need everyone to pray right now. And that's what he told him.
Okay, so that's just not right. And so when he says, I might be imagining this, I'll never forget, followed by, I might be imagining this, probably means that maybe you forgot and like you really could be imagining. Now, for me personally, I think the normal physiological response in these high adrenaline situations for most people is you lock in. That they're literally, your body, when it goes through something, when it's terrified and it's going through this sort of like, you are really paying attention to details. We've learned about this many times over in health class growing up. This is why they talk about that fight or flight response, and quite literally there's stuff happening to your body. And so there's a lot of details here that are just not accurate. And the one that surprised me the most about these call logs is I certainly feel that we were given the impression over and over and over again that the first person Mikey called was ERIKA, right? He called ERIKA. We were told this by many people also, that he trained, like he almost like went to a camp and trained, and Charlie was like, 1, 2, 3, go, and like fast, 1, 2, 3, go. That's why he walked away. 1, 2, 3, go, and just told him, this is what the first thing you do is. Well, he didn't do that. Actually, the first person he called was his wife. He called Elizabeth McCoy, and then he stayed on the phone with his wife for 10 minutes. And during those 10 minutes, he three-wayed ERIKA 3 minutes after the shot went off. And then he three-ways his father, and then he three-ways a third person who I am not interested in mentioning because it's not relevant. This is Danny McCoy, by the way, is his brother that's in the military, but that's before the shot goes off. Charlie KIRK shot goes off. I have that in detail. Charlie's brought to security. Mikey McCoy calls his wife. They will stay on the phone for 10 minutes. Okay? In that same minute, because we know this, because Blake Neff has given us his call log to his mother, Blake Neff called his mom. His call with his mother lasted 45 seconds. So we're assuming it went to 12:25. It very well could have stayed in 12:24, depending on the millisecond. Blake Neff ends that phone call with his mother. Mikey McCoy, after the phone call with his mother ends, adds ERIKA to the phone. Okay, so that when he was recapping and he's like, oh, his lips quivering, and he's like, I gotta call ERIKA. And he's like, and then I called my mom. That's not right. That's just not right. Okay, Mikey called ERIKA after Blake Neff ended that phone call with his mother. If call logs are to be believed above, human testimony. Mikey McCoy then drops ERIKA from the phone call 2 minutes later, and then he adds his father to the phone call. Again, he is this entire time on the phone with his wife, okay? And then Mikey McCoy ends his phone call with his father. He does call another person who I'm not mentioning because it's just not relevant to anything, not a character in the story, rather. And then he ends the phone call with his wife. And a minute later, his brother calls him back, and they stay on the phone for 10 minutes. I did not get this from everybody speaking about this Mikey McCoy call log. I know that you guys did not get this. I did not get this. I don't know why she was disappeared from this. Like, you could go, look, the wife wants privacy. No, she was like, main stage at the memorial, has been, I would say very...
I'm not going to lie. I didn't understand that at all. I think my brain just fucking fried from listening to that. Honestly, that call log kind of just sounded pointless. I don't know about y'all, but that call log just low key sounded pointless. So, with that being said, we'll carry on with this probably tomorrow. My brain cells just fried, and so we're gonna go look at what you talking about with Terry Jones. So this is why at a certain point I tune out on her. It's just kind of speculation and gossip. A lot of There's a lot of times that she does just start spitting a whole lot of nothing. And there's a lot of times when she brings some crazy stuff to the table. But like right now, my brain just got fried. Like I feel like the brain cells inside my brain just try to do a triple backflip over each other at the same time and fail. That's what I feel like right now. But I'm gonna look at this this title real quick, bro. Yeah. Oh, it's your boy, man. Look, it's your boy. It's your boy. Excuse me. Still coughing up some phlegm. They say Ilya Taporia's ex-wife is ruining him. Every man must realize this brutal truth. I want to look at the comments. This dude said, I just found your channel as I was looking for Christian channels. Thank you for your content. How does that have anything to do with Christian content, bro? How? You know you'd be waiting for marriages and long-term relationships to end. Oh, yeah. Just so you can talk about it. Even him. On one hand, it's at least confirmation of what we've learned. Doesn't matter who you are, their spiritual decay remains. I once heard a young girl admit that she was planning to find a man to marry, have some kids, and divorce him for the alimony payments and whatever else money she could get out of him so she wouldn't have to work. My throat's drying up. Excuse me. The courts and all the ladies tied to this system aid her into having you ruined. I am never getting married. I love my single, free, content life. That's the dude fault because his 304s be showing symptoms. That's facts. I'm sick of the type of content. Because it's like, take your index finger out of your bosom and man up. That's facts. This dude said, you can't trust women, bro. They're evil. Dudes never talk to a female outside of a browser. But somehow gurus on kitty yet only smell their mama panties. Ah! Yo, that's 100% facts. He said, but somehow gurus on kitty yet only smell their mama's panties. Why did you spell it with that many N's, bro? That shit got me dead. Oh, never touched that. Ah. Oh, that shit is funny, bro. To get married means you're okay with being controlled, belittled, taken advantage of, losing your sanity, constantly proving yourself you're weak for love and sex, you need validation, etc. The list goes on. Don't get married. Long-term relationship, cool, but marriage, fuck no. Never give your power to walk away for anything ever. It's freedom of choice, and that's a very important thing to never give away. How about you properly vet the female that you get with to make sure she's the one that you want first? Instead of just jumping into some shit. Just like what FedEx says, you gotta vet these females. Otherwise, you just fall into the same BS and think that all women are the same. When in reality, y'all are just retarded. Hey, we're gonna read some of these titles before we get out of here, but this shit got me dying. Hold on. I did not click on that. What the hell? What the hell? Why women lie to us all. Women want men to be weak and emasculated. They actually despise men. Women don't want love or families anymore. Women undervalue men and significantly overvalue themselves. Covert narcissists. Women act like they don't need us. Men are responding with distance and they hate it. Why demon-possessed women lure men into a false sense of security. Golly, bro. That female nature is brutal to modern men who don't understand this. This is your mate. Modern women have no real desire in men for relationships. Why? Why you don't want a girlfriend anymore? Jezebels are discarding modern men like they're nothing. Men need to wake up. Men are no longer wanting girlfriends anymore. Oh man, bro. Bro, look at this one, dude. Oh, look at this one, bro. Imagine how many soda cans are on this floor. Let's say goodbye to our dreams of having a loving wife and family. And this is your mate? Women only fantasize about men who have other women on the side. Um, it's just like that, that sounds like something that Tate and Myron have talked about. If, and I don't remember which one exactly, I think might have both said it. One of them said that if you with a girl and she see that you have plenty of other options, it's going to make her work more to be the one that you want to be with. So, excuse me, of course, obviously, yeah. Oh. My bad, y'all. Dying over here from this motherfucker's video titles. Oh. Oh. I'm legit dying from this dude's video titles, bro. Oh, he needs to stop. He needs to stop. Oh, he needs to stop. Most women are demons in disguise, plotting on. Okay, yeah, we're done. We're done. We're done, bro. We're done. Cut that shit off, bro. We're done. We're done. Terry Joel, you done lost your damn mind, homie. I'm serious, bro. You need to go on FedEx Fearless show and get some advice from him. Unless the whole plan from Terry Joel was to blow up a channel and then just talk shit about females. I hope that's not the case, because that's like the worst basement dwelling energy you could ever have. I'm I'm done, bro. My mind is fucking blown. I'll see y'all later, bro. I gotta go. I'm about to fucking die from this shit, bro. I'm out.